Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. In today's video I wanted to go over a method of gearing a new character at 110, as it can be a very frustrating experience when you have a low item level. Groups don't want to invite you. It can even be difficult solo questing and killing monsters. So in this method we avoid all of that. We can do it completely by ourselves, and we can get a decent item level at the end of the day. So what we're going to be doing is queuing for battlegrounds and looting chests on the broken shore. So flying around, there will be these chests on the ground called hidden Wimturn cached, and you can loot a ton of resources from them, most importantly the nether shards. So we're going to be gathering as many nether shards as we can while we're flying around the island here in the queue for a battleground, because the queues can be substantially long if you're on a faction. In EU, you're going to probably notice your alliance queues are long. If you're NA, then you're probably going to notice that your horde queues are long. So in these queue times, of course, just fly around, loot as many chests as you can. You can avoid monsters, avoid dealing with the stress of trying to kill them with a low item level. And then when your queue does eventually pop, then of course you'll be in a battleground where you'll be gaining honor, artifact power, and PvP gear. The PvP gear that you get from random battlegrounds is 840 item level base, but it can Titan Forge even higher. Titan Forging is very important for you if you want to try to catch up on gearing on an alt character or a new character to the expansion. So with this method, I played for about, I think, maybe 30 minutes total, and I went from an 800 item level to something like an 830 item level. So that's a very fast way of just power boosting, and then at that point you'll be able to do solo quests a lot easier. You can use other methods as well, get into groups for Mythic Plus dungeons, but when you're doing the battlegrounds, you want to make sure that you're focusing on the objectives. So carry flags, protect payloads, defend bases, just because the objective wins the battleground. And if you want to win and get the most gear the fastest possible, then you want to make sure you're focusing in on that. So in this Warsong Scramble, I'm focusing on capturing flags, and then afterwards you'll receive PvP gear, and I happen to Warforge to 845 item level on a cloak. You will also receive large artifact power items while you're doing this method. Glory of the Melee as you ding up honor levels, which can give you substantial boosts to your artifact early on. And then of course the artifact power you get from winning the battleground as well, the Soldier's Esteem. So like I said, we're going to be queuing for battlegrounds and looting chests on the broken shore in order to get our gear. So in that queue time, I managed to get roughly 800 nether shards from flying around in the queue, and you need about 400 to buy one piece of Dauntless gear. I don't suggest going after the relinquished gear until you've boosted yourself up with Dauntless. And then of course you want to make sure that you're buying item slots that are going to give you the best benefits, so the lowest ones. So that happened to be my bracers and my ring that were even significantly below 800 item level, because I used my leveling method on the Legion Companion app, so I had very little gear. So this method is also a great way for me to catch up if you use that leveling method. So I boost myself from an 800 item level to something like an 825 or 830 item level in a matter of 30 minutes, and you just keep doing it again. Queue for battleground, loot chests on the island. I believe you are capped to about 100 chests a day, but unless you're like super try-hard grinding, I don't think you're ever going to reach that cap in a day. So I definitely suggest this as a gearing method. It's a great way to catch up an alt character or get yourself into the expansion faster, because you can do it completely autonomously by yourself. You don't need people judging you because you got a low item level, they don't want to take you, they don't want to carry you, etc, etc. So this is a great method if you just want to gear up by yourself in Legion in patch 7.2, and of course moving into patch 7.2.5. So good luck catching yourself up with this gearing method, and I hope it helps.